back, everyone, to another stock market live stream. Wow, we went so long on the Course Member live stream this morning. We were like an hour and 20 minutes breaking down fundamental analysis of a bunch of different companies, even a Bitcoin-related play. Quite a bit on AMD. Boy, there was a lot of analysis this morning. So anyway, I feel like half the day's gone already, and it's only 7:16 a.m. and there's just so much freaking analysis. But it's fun. You know, I was even this morning. We got the what's it called? I got all these notifications on my phone from our bank because like we don't send our distributions through checks, and I'm just like, holy smokes. We were like $1,000 distributions, 125, 166, 166, 166, just like insane. 125, 125, 1250, 104, 208, 125, 125, 166, 166, $833, $833, 1,041, 250, 125, 208. These are all like the bond distributions that HouseTech is sending, and they all go through digitally as direct deposit. And it's so cool because like I still see people send checks and it's so antiquated, and we're like, nah man, we're just direct depositing. I mean, it's insane. This is kind of like what it looks like. And this is like hundreds of these. It's crazy. So kind of crazy. But it's cool. That's so I love it. All right, good. So that said, let's get into what's going on in the day. You've got a nice little run here, which is good. Broadly, some good ADP numbers we saw this morning, so that was very exciting. Volatility index coming down nicely today, about 4.3. So let's see here. You've got Tesla slightly negative here. You've got that shareholder vote, which is kind of important. That is going to be a big deal. I do wonder if that vote, like, first of all, I think it's got like a 90% plus chance. Let's go look. Kalshi betting odds Tesla plan. Let's go see what else we have here. Market bets on whether people think we're going to get the approval. So this is going to be the Kalshi, but anyway, 92% chance that Elon Musk's shareholder proposal goes through. I mean, I think that's almost at this point going to be a foregone conclusion. It would be such a disappointment to, frankly, Tesla shareholders if it didn't go through. I don't know how people would react to it. It would be kind of interesting. But anyway, so let's see here. You've got... Okay. Okay, I'll make sure that's set. Okay, good. So let's go take a peek at some of the news. Obviously, we saw massive Democratic victories yesterday. Vivek said that Republicans got their arses handed to them. The fascinating, the hearing at the Supreme Court, by the way, I don't think we're going to get a decision on this until like early next year at the earliest, maybe even as late as May next year. So I'm not convinced that we're going to see a lot of news out of the Supreme Court issue. But we did get, Newsom's proposal in California passed. You got Democratic governor wins and Virginia and otherwise. You got Mamdani wins in New York. I mean, really kind of almost like a Democratic sweep. And Trump's rationale was, hey, well, Democrats won because I wasn't on the ballot. Like, of course, Trump. Let's make it about Trump. But that's pretty classic. You did also get a reduction of liquidity stress yesterday, although part of me wonders if the only reason you saw this reduction yesterday was because there was so much stock market selling. You probably didn't need to raise that much capital from the repo markets because so much money was burned in markets yesterday. You've got today Q's still up 27 basis points. Nice rally so far at the beginning of the day. No big giant fall off a cliff at the open. We did get some negativity at the close yesterday. Some additional selling pressure. But you've got, what do we have here? AMD 25 bips. Meta's up about 1%. Tesla getting a little nervous there. It's possible people are front running like, all right, we know the vote's going to pass. Let's just get out. I do think that there are going to be a lot of traders that dump out of Tesla after the vote passes. My vision is that in the very short term, it has a chance of going to 490, but then it's down from there because then you're going to get a little bit back to some fundamentals. And the fundamentals are not good for Tesla right now, unfortunately. But still great company, and I love the company. Palantir shaving off another 3.8%. This is kind of the post-catalyst selling that we've been seeing on stocks, right? So you get earnings on Palantir, and then you get post-earnings sell down, and so on. Yeah, like I said, this is I literally just talked about it. So I see somebody in the chat, and they're like, "Oh, the Supreme Court." I know. Like I said, they're hearing arguments on the Supreme Court, but who cares? You're going to hear the arguments. I don't know that they're going to actually do anything or have a decision until probably April or May of next year. So I'm not really going to pay attention to it because I don't see it as much of a caddy today. Mostly because you're going to hear arguments and people are going to go, "Oh, Kagan said this." Who cares what Kagan said? You're going to have a vote. Did end up seeing AMD just now lose the lead.
Lost the lead.
So a little bit of a rotation there on AMD. Look at this, Seagate up 9% today, and a lot of these have really been running. Let's see here. You've got Red Robin bouncing, KView bouncing a little bit, Six Flags, consumer plays. Look at the consumer plays over here. Down, Restoration Hardware, Dave & Buster's, Fun. Ubiquity's pretty much flat. Bitcoin back to 103. Look at that bounce on the line right here. 102.164 is my line. And we literally bounced within, what is that, $23 of it? That's pretty wild. That's a wild bounce. I'll take it. And this is a legendary line too. Somebody donates $5. Says, "Kevin, I got one question. Define recession in the current financial age." Well, recession is there's no real, there's a technical recession, which is 2 quarters of negative GDP, but that's old news. We all know that. What you really care about is the NBER, National Bureau of Economic Research, and their standards for recession. And it typically requires a rapidly rising unemployment rate. So I would sort of hang my hat on a rising unemployment rate as the most critical tell. ADP report this morning, of course, is not going to include government jobs, but broadly bullish. That I think is why we're seeing, some of this rebound today. Obviously, we could have gotten a much worse report, and we didn't. So, pretty exciting. You've got small caps, 242. How have we been doing over here? If I zoom out a little bit, capping out a little bit, capped out at about 252. Maybe some of that credit stress making people a little bit more nervous. I may have missed it. Why did HouseHack rebrand as Reinvest? Yeah, there's a whole 40-minute video on this. You could just type into YouTube, Meet Kevin AI, update. AI and fundraising update. That's what the video is called. And I literally break it all down. But you could also go to reinvest.co and figure it out by just scrolling through the web page, because we talk so much about, the AI product and reinvesting the profits of this back into asset-backed real estate. There's an example of Reinvest. The plans we have for people being able to reinvest their yields in the future. Myself being so bullish on how I can reinvest that I'm reinvesting, right? These things are exciting to me. And so we think the name matches quite well. So the emergency law in question, EPA, was actually passed by Congress to constrain the president's authority. Yeah, which is now being used as a way to expand presidential authority. All right, let's go see the information over here. All right. Let's see here. OpenAI's car. Yeah, it's funny. We've had our Wedge Finder AI since before AI was a big deal. I had to explain what AI was back in 22 when we launched the company. We're like, hey, here's how it works. Here's how we use it. Here's what it does. And then back then we're like, we don't want to license it to anyone. And today we're like, man, this is so good. We just can't buy all the deals in the country. We should license this. So it's actually interesting because, we've been developing this since before AI was even AI. It's called big data and neural nets and machine learning is the way people talked about it back then. So it's really fun. Now that'll be coming out in an app-based form, which will be fun. OpenAI's commerce and app efforts divide consumer firms, right? Because you've got like Amazon's pissed that Anthropic, for example, is using agents to go shop, and people think that same thing's going to happen at Amazon. Look at this. China aims to mass produce humanoids by the end of 26. I hate to say it, but I actually think that China will probably beat us to humanoids. Lisa writes, just enrolled in the Meet Kevin membership. Let's go. Thank you so much. I got this left-handed mouse, and I realized I have no left-hand mouse dexterity, but let me pin message. It is the weirdest thing. So somebody says, that being said, when how's that guy feel? Well, I've always talked about 28 to 2030 apps in a recession. So it's the same thing. So I have these two on my desk now. I have my right-handed mouse here and then my left-handed mouse here. And it's really the weirdest thing because, now I've got all these shortcut buttons. But it's actually kind of cool because I can control two different computers, one with the left hand while still, working with the right. It's kind of awesome, honestly, but it's taking a little bit of dexterity to get used to. But anyway, welcome aboard. So I think we had a really good session this morning with course members, and we had a very specific call on the queues this morning, very specific, and I'll leave it at that. A little teaser. Maybe we'll tell you a few now. So XPeng, one of China's biggest electric vehicle makers, on Wednesday announced a new version of a humanoid robot. It says it now aims to start mass production on by the end of next year. Wow. Yeah, let's look at this. XPeng. So let's go to XPeng. And Lisa, you've been watching since 2017. That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, there it is. X, where's next? XPeng, where next? So what did they announce? See, this is what Tesla needs, man. Ultra smart, large 7-seater. Man, that pisses me off that the Chinese have this. I want this. I want to be Chinese now. Look at that. That's sexy, dude. It's not too feminine, but it's also not too masculine to where a woman doesn't want to drive it. It's a good balance here. I want to see interior pictures of the X9. Damn it. Look at this. Happy Chinese family. I don't know, what is it with the beige theme, by the way? All these people these days are doing beige, the dudes. Everybody's getting into the beige. I don't have anything beige. I'm still black. I like black. Look at this. They got the captain's chairs. This looks awesome, man. Man, why can't Tesla do this? The steering wheel's on the wrong side. Anyway, whatever. So, and they look, dual NVIDIA Drive Orin chipsets. So literally, full scenario ADAS is what they're calling it. AI valet driver. This is smart summon, right? AI valet driver. Available anywhere, anytime. Wait, is this their version of FSD, AI valet? I think that's what they call it. Let's go find some Chinese dude who's doing this. AI valet XPeng. I've been watching since 2019. I've learned more here than in any news station. I'm not a member, but the value I got from the live streams have allowed me to exponentially increase my net worth. Let's go, Jessica! And it's a girl! At least by name. I don't know. We don't want to assume gender here, but that's awesome. Oh yeah, and they have a robot video too here. Let's go. Sorry, we get excited when we see a girl around here.
Today, I'm going to show you guys the spot-to-spot feature on the XBN Mona MO3 Max. Honestly, I'm not sure why I can't use the auto park out feature from inside.
This is AI auto dubbed.
It's just driving manually and won't let me engage in. Oh, wait, maybe in front is finally moving.
This is all NVIDIA, dude. Okay, Jessica confirmed she is indeed a girl. Let's go!
At the intersection, there's a car making a left that's cutting us off. The system's a little hesitant.
It's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Doing a U, and it's actually trying to squeeze past it.
Yeah, that's dumb. It's definitely not FSD level.
Another garage.
No way it drives into the garage.
Turning into this random complex.
Random complex. Is this not where you want it to go? This would be clutch if this is where you want it to go.
Whoa. How did you end up in another garage?
No, it's not where you want it to go.
And then drive back to the original spot.
The fact that it's pulling this off is incredible.
And this part is going pretty smoothly, but there's a surprise coming.
Garage? Wow.
Perfect. Earned this.
Oh, we
trying
got
to
stuck.
inherit my maxed out credit card or something? Please.
Lol. It's gonna just drive it straight towards a
Are you
wall.
trying to inherit my?
Yeah. This is it's nowhere near FSD yet. Xpeng's AI valet gets lost. Tries to race Ferrari. Nice. So yeah, somebody at 353 LFMAO. I think they've got some work to do. Good video. Boom. That said, you know, Tesla was not there. This is not that far behind Tesla. It's behind Tesla, but it ain't that far behind Tesla. Okay. So, look, they're happy. Okay. Now, where's the robot announcement?
And from our perspective, we believe that the quality of robots will likely go beyond that of the stringent automotive grade, because it's very. Not to mention, the robot has 82.
I can't read any of this crap.
tasks, and for perception, design, and
Why is this not in American?
the third lesson, car to be by tire. Any of them would prefer the full stack self. The few.
Okay, none of this is in freedom. Except the little byline. Where's freedom? That's not creepy. That's it? Just an edited demo? And it's a stock pump. They're trying to pull an Elon. Nobody pumps a stock better than our boy Elon. Nobody. Xpeng Investor Relations. We have an earnings call coming up on the 17th. Okay, let's go look at their financials. SV101 says another girl here. Let's go! We're snowballing in girls today? Alright, I gotta be careful with what I say. Okay. Can I get Can we get any financials here? Oh, hold on a second.
Profit miss driven by higher tariff costs. AMD also under pressure, but off the lows after margin guidance disappointed. That said, shares coming off a big run up into the print. Another example of sort of sell the winners like Palantir yesterday. And then checking Decking Company. This is the company is Trex. It's losing about a third of its value this morning on the back of results, citing easing consumer demand and forecasting more pressure on the consumer in the fourth quarter. So
Bro, that almost feels like an opportunity. We're going to have to look at Trex in just a sec. I'm going to look them up. That's sexy. The stock. Anyway, so what do we have here? Gross margin 16.5%, vehicle margin 12.6%. R&D. How much money do they have? And are they losing? I mean, I think they are losing money. Let's see. This is Xpeng. Here we go. Financials. Alrighty. Let's see here. Weighted averages, shareholders, shareholder info. Bro, just give me the freaking financials, would you? How hard is that? Oh, taxation. Share comp. Fine. Here we go. Revenues from contracts with customers. I have to change all these numbers into freedom units too, I'm pretty sure. All amounts in thousands. Yeah, but I think this is going to be in commie currency. Outstanding loans. Accruals and liabilities. I'd like to just see, like, if I could get a frank GAAP financial statement. I'd be so happy right now. Plant property. These are all the components of their actual earnings. How about you just give me a total statement? You're not going to, are you? Scam. Anyway. Oh. Nope. Whoa, here we go. Found it. All right. Cash flows. So they're borrowing about 900 million renminbi. Wait, 900 million thousands. All right, whatever. So they're borrowing more. We know that. Then we have cash flows from investing, where plant, property, and equipment expenses 1.3 billion RMBs. And then we have let's see here, plant, property, and equipment. That's depreciation. That's fine. Actual cash, how much are we creating from operations? Net loss. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. 1.1 billion RMBs. Net cash used in operating activity, 9.6 billion RMB. So that's probably about $1 billion, roughly, doing some rounding here. So we're definitely burning cash. We're definitely having to borrow. And they're not profitable yet, is my understanding, because of the net loss over here. Total revenues. Wow, they've like doubled, though, their vehicle sales. Holy smokes, that's more than doubled. Dude, you gotta give this some credit. This is pretty good. You've got 31 divided by 12.3. Dude, that's 2.5x on vehicle sales. That's really impressive. Service revenue moving up. How's the margin on the cars? Total cost of sales. Let me just do the cars. 27.3 divided by 31.25. Yeah, that's about that 12.7%. Compared to 11.6 divided by 12.3, 6%. Wow, margins expanded nicely. R&D and SG&A is explosive, though. That's why we have a loss from operations over here. But they're going to get close to profitable. And, dude, with the robots coming, this is sexy. I wonder how expensive Xpeng is right now. Like the stock, because we have ADRs here. Xpeng. Okay. This is trading at A market cap of 20 bill. 20 bill's a lot, man. Because what's Rivian going for? Rivian's going for... Dude, Xpeng's selling for more than Rivian. Come on. Ah. I wanted a sale. Why is it gotta be expensive? Somebody writes, here updated recession, 10 euro. You're giving me 10 euro. When rich and when two political parties cannot get into agreement, they shut the government down because rich rather pay machines for cheap 24/7 than human. Uh-huh. Well, thanks for the 10 euros. So, all right. What are the forecasts on Xpeng? Xpeng and Trex. Because Trex got wrecked too. Oh, and it's been on a downtrend. Oh, we're almost at COVID pricing. Let's freaking go. Okay. Let's see here. Trex. Oh, well, there are a few things we want to do. We want to look at Trex, and we want to look at XPEV. Okay, financial analysis. So, Xpeng is expected to be profitable, dude, next year. Holy smokes, bro. No way, man. Oh, wow. Dude, if they could pull that off, holy smokes. That's actually very interesting to me. $1.42 of EPS. I don't know if they could pull it off. Wait, no. What if this is in oh, it's in renminbi. Damn, I was going to say, there's no way, dude. Oh, okay, 20 cents of EPS for next year when I put it in freedom units. Dang it, I got scammed. Dude, I got so excited when I saw those numbers. Expecting 20 cents of EPS for next year. That sucks. Because, you know, then you're trading for, what, 100 times? Yeah, 105 times. Man. All right. What about Trex? But I do like this robotic announcement. Let me look at Trex really quick. So Trex is only a $3.6 billion company. Bro, $2.20 of earnings for the end of the year. So what are they selling for? 14 times? Maybe 15. $2.22. 15 times. Wow. They've really come down here, huh? That's interesting. Okay. Dude, Seagate keeps running. My goodness. Storage wars. This is the new definition of storage wars, while AMD is actually trickling down a bit. Q's still going up. Nvidia's recovering. Got MicroStrategy recovering a bit. We've got Bitcoin at 103.6. Good. Got another $600 in there. Stabilizing on the Palantir sell-off. That's nice. Yeah, Pinterest got smoked here. 7% on Enphase. Why? What's the news on Enphase? There's no news on Enphase. It's just sort of probably a trend reversal here. Very interesting. How's SoFi doing? Sophie! Oh, almost at all times. Very nice. All right. Let's go down. Let's see here. Any times updates on this Supreme Court hearing? First section, presenting the government case. Boring. All right, well, that's no news. Let's go pull up some real news here. All right. U.S. services expands the fastest pace. Oh, yeah. Let's look at the services numbers. ISM services. And it's possible that tariff effects are skewing ISM higher. Tariff effects may be causing the data to rise at a fastest pace, leading to an overreaction in treasuries. Interesting. Okay. So, services report. All right, let's write this down. Services, PMI 11.525. Hold on a sec.
Are surging today after the AI-powered insurance company posted a third quarter beat on the top and bottom lines. The stock has nearly doubled this year, still down more than 50% from its all-time high in 2021. Joining us now, first on CNBC to break down the quarter, is Lemonade co-founder and CEO Daniel Schreiber. Daniel, it's good to have you back on.
Hey!
You're definitely back on the radar.
Good for that.
The stock has been incredible lately. Coming off of those lows. So what is driving, I think, 24% in customer growth?
They were AI insurance before AI was cool.
Great to be back with you. I think overwhelmingly investors are beginning to see now that the 10 years of investments in AI are really paying off. So
yeah,
we're seeing just extraordinary levels of operational efficiencies coming through. So if you look at the last few years, you kind of reference how the stock has performed. So we grew in the last 3 years. We added 1 million customers. We threefold increased our revenue. We tenfold increased our gross profit. And yet our actual headcount is down. Our operating expenses, excluding growth, are entirely flat. The ability to do
that's what's happening at so many companies. Is so many companies are just becoming so much more efficient by cutting out a lot of the expenses that they picked up after COVID. Labor, a lot of that. Okay. All right. Upturn in services. Higher activity accompanied by further demand growth. So what do we have here? Let's see here. Selling price inflation was limited because of competition. Lowest level since April despite elevated cost pressures. Yeah, so again, companies have to take it in the margin. Right. Companies take margin, or companies take inflation in the margin. Old news. Let's see here. Supporting growth activity was solid, slightly faster. New business volumes. Panelists reported client demand had improved. That's good. Although still some ongoing uncertainty. Activity rising to a quicker degree, blah, blah, blah. Let's see here. October's final PMI data add to signs that the U.S. economy has encountered the fourth quarter with strong momentum. Well, that's good. Still rising at a 2.5% annualized pace based on what they're seeing in the data here. There are signs that new businesses coming at the cost of service providers have started to soak up high input prices to remain competitive. Yeah. Customers are pushing back on price increases. This is all good for inflation. Yeah. While good news in terms of inflation, this lack of pricing power hits at the underlying demand and lower profits. Dude, it's like this guy watches Meet Kevin. Lack of peepee. Small peepee. Business expectations have fallen sharply and are now at one of the lowest levels seen over the 3 years. So but expectations are so wonked, man. It's, people's expectations change like on a daily basis. Okay. All right, so that's the S&P. Let's now look at the ISM. This was the ISM services. And here we have inventories, boring. 11 industries reported growth. 6 reported contraction. Activity's flat month over month. That's in finance and insurance. Relatively flat. Client demand solid. Heightened business activity here. That's in public admin, not politics. Mixed signals from the economy. Business is very strong in retail trade. Business seems to be picking up. Multifamily is a big driver. Wow, wholesale trade. That's great. Fed cutting rates. Let's see. Okay, I mean, there's nothing bad in these reports. This is great. Cool. What else we got here? We've got Q still holding on to about 55 bips. Nvidia recovers. You've got Tesla slightly green by 0.5% now. It was red for a little bit there this morning. Okay. Meta continues to recover nicely. MP Materials still in the toilet. AMD still red. Okay. What else? So let's go look at the current Supreme Court stuff. So all right, what do we have here? First section of the tariff argument. Can they use the IEEPA to ban products? Part of the questioning is now revolving around whether the president can use it to ban products but not put tariffs on them. For example, trade embargoes with Russia or Iran. President Trump announced the sweeping tariffs relying on a 1977 law passed by Congress during national emergencies. That's the whole idea here. But for Trump, everything's an emergency. The vehicle is the imposition of taxes on Americans, and that has always been a core power of Congress. Yeah. Dude, I mean, like, it would be the most wonderful thing if they just declared these particular tariffs were illegal. But, I mean, Trump will just, find another way to layer them on. Major questions doctrine. If so, that's bad news for the admin, right? Let's see. Justification is being used for the power to impose tariffs on any product for any length of time. So major questions is really the idea that it's Congress's job if it's not directly delegated to the president. So major questions. Okay, that's a fair argument. Very focused on Nixon. The tariffs were part of the Nixon shock. What's significant here, because I think figuring that out is really important to deciding the case correctly, maybe. Today, let's see. Jackson, emergency law in question was designed to constrain presidential authority, right? Definitely intended to constrain authority. Trump administration argues that the change was only intended to add process constraints, not constrain the president's actions. They're creative. The actual emergency law does not contain the word tariffs itself. That's interesting. The Solicitor General argues that what is at issue is not the power to tax, but rather to regulate foreign powers. The fact that they raise revenue is only incidental. Bullshit, dude. That's the whole point of it. To raise, Trump's bragging about the revenue from them all the time. What do we have here? Precedents, key cases, Tube Company versus Sawyer. Guardrails for when the president can act without approval. The power to tax is lawful only if Congress has authorized it. That's why they're trying to get away from the idea that this is a tax. Supreme Court error decision. Major questions is a major question. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. All right. Fine. How's fun looking with liquidity? Well, the last few days certainly slowed down some of the consumer moves. Let's see here. Asset prices face doubts on Trump election anniversary. Price action shows the rally in stocks and bonds face tests on the rally of Trump's anniversary, or on the anniversary of Trump's election. Yeah, okay, so what do we have here? Oh, we have earnings coming up for fun on 11/7. Oh, in 2 days. Earnings for 6 bucks. Yeah, look at that. The momentum really kind of relaxed. This was the Kelsey bump right here. So what's this sucker trading for anyway? This is $2 billion market cap company. And I can't remember if they're profitable or not. I think their margins are super, super low. They don't have pricing power at all. Tiny PP. So fun. F is for friends who do stuff together. No, it's negative 83 cents of earnings this year. Next year, they're expecting $1, which still puts them at 20 times. You know, so maybe if they can grow out of this funk, that'd be great. That'd be great. What else? Oh, Meta's up 1.5 now. Nice. Alt 5. Yes. Scam. There's Tesla. All right. So, what else? Let's see here. Actually, just sort of mostly benign news today, really. The plane accident crash was terrible yesterday. XPeng based in the southern city of Guangzhou said it will launch 3 robotaxi models in China next year. Wow. And they also unveiled a new 6-seat flying car. Wow. Dude, they're doing everything. XPeng previously announced a vehicle that comes with a detachable 2-person aircraft ready for mass production next year. Good lord, dude. They're just giving us everything. Showed off its prototypes, AI plans, humanoid robots, all powered by their new physical world AI. Yeah. I mean, now it makes sense why they've got the valuation they do. They are pumping the hopium, man. Pumping. Oh, did Trex bounce after Sarah bagged on it? Well, she was just reporting the data. Oh, really? Yeah, this is remarkable, dude. 28% down. It's oh, did I look at the financials of it yet? I don't think I did. Maybe I did. Yeah, I made a bunch of videos on the UPS crash. If you haven't seen it yet on the channel, it's probably because you don't have the Meet Kevin app. And you're missing out on notifications. You know, if you download the Meet Kevin app, it's free. You get to customize notifications for which videos you want, which you can't do that on YouTube. If you want all of them, you get all of them. You also get the daily wealth every day, which is kind of cool. So EPS for Trex. Oh, yeah, we did do it. It was 15. Yeah, right. Exactly. Okay. Or the PE ratio. All right. Let's say ADP report was good. Oh. Election day sent an unmistakable warning to Republicans. France is suspending Shein. Let's see here. Trump's complaining about ending the filibuster. Musk wants his pay package. Old news. Carl Icahn at 90 is still trying to right his empire. Man, haven't figured it out at 90, dude. Palantir's valuation. Burger King braces for the demise of the penny. Oh, who cares? IBM to lay off thousands. Really? Because their software business is growing nicely. Shed workers as it seeks to reposition its business in the age of AI. Tech company said layoffs will be a low single digit proportion of the business. The workforce strategy is having the right people and the right skills. More layoffs. Huh. Yeah, their earnings are actually very nice. Ooh, AMD outlook. Let's listen to this.
Right. When the stock fell initially, you're like, okay, the stock rally over in chips, but actually investors are just playing what AMD has put in front of them.
Right. It's been a rough 24 hours for chip stocks. We saw that in Asia. We also saw it in Europe. AMD's a bit of a different story. The stock has been on such a tear. It's up about 100% this year so far. I think investors were looking for an impressive result from them. What they're really looking for is AMD, as you alluded to, they still have a hand in the traditional business of PCs and servers, and they're moving more aggressively into this AI space to compete with NVIDIA. Now, they're not growing as quickly as NVIDIA. NVIDIA is up, growing in the 50% range at this point. AMD has been more in the 30% range. People really want to see whether the AI business, the AI chips that AMD is offering are going to take off, and AMD is going to be able to accelerate that growth rate. We didn't see that, as you mentioned. They did have a pretty solid beat on the revenue side, but it was not as high as some people had been expecting. Also, the operating expenses were a little bit higher than expected, probably suggesting that more of their business was on the old traditional PC business rather than the AI business.
Peter, help us make sense of Supermicro. There was a time where that was a stock and a name caught up in broad enthusiasm for AI. But at the end of the day, Supermicro assembles servers and server designs for others. What do we learn from their print?
Right. Well, Supermicro has had a few cross currents that we have been looking at. They had some accounting issues. They announced a couple of revisions to what they were reporting in their financials, and now their outlook is coming in a little bit light. Their revenues for the current quarter were a little light. Also, their projection for the next quarter is a little bit light. I think people are concerned that this has been an AI play. They have benefited from the fast growth in AI demand in the past, but it looks like they're losing some of that momentum at this point. That could be because competitors like Dell are picking up more market share. It could also be because we're seeing some of these companies do more of this.
Yeah, that whole accounting thing, I remember covering that with Supermicro, is such nonsense because it was like, bro, this is going to be okay. And sure enough, now nobody's talking about the accounting issues anymore. It's like, that was such overblown nonsense. Hey, Kevin, I'm in high school spending my lunch money just to hear your thoughts. What do you think about Meta and where do you see it heading in the future? I think it's like the cheapest Mag 7 out of all of them right now. You know, Zuck with his controlling shares has so much staying power too. Even if he overspends right now on AI, the amount of money they make from ads is just insane. And I think AI just enhances the amount of money that they can make from AI. It's really, really incredible. So even if they end up making a faux pas on too much spending, I actually think it's brilliant what they're doing with like the off-balance sheet bonds, for example, where their latest data center they're building out is financed by like what, $27 billion, and not their debt. Doesn't show up on their balance sheet. They have walkaway clauses. It's actually kind of brilliant, and they are one of the first to do it. So I'm pretty excited about what Meta's doing. I actually like the dip on it. All right. So what else here? Let's go see FT. Man, I thought lunch money used to be like $2 or $3. You know, you'd get like the pizza slice and like an orange for $1. you know, and then you'd bring like another $2 or whatever to go to the vending machine afterwards and get like a Snickers and some gummy bears or something. Or maybe you want to get double lunch for like $2.25 or whatever it was. Sounds like it's gotten a lot more expensive if lunch money's $10 now. Holy smokes. But anyway. AI may fatally wound Web's ad model. What the hell does that even mean? Yeah, now people are going to start saying Kevin's taking people's lunch money. Come on, man. Come on. Multi-billion-dollar business advertising model has underpinned the internet could fall apart to the rise of Gen AI. LLMs will eventually replace humans in consuming the internet. I don't think so. This guy's smoking crack, dude. You know how much, like, if anything, if LLMs go shop for us, we have even more time to go scroll, you know? Scroll on TikTok and Instagram. Yeah, it's just insane, dude. Any more thoughts on Now and the 5-1 split? No, I don't have thoughts on splits. I don't really care about splits. Splits don't change anything. They're a marketing pitch. But yeah. Let's see here. Oh, Mondani, let's listen to this.
The pros of governing has only just begun. The hard work of improving New Yorkers' lives starts now. That process begins with transition. In the coming months, I and my team will build a city hall capable of delivering on the promises of this campaign. We will form an administration that is in equal parts capable and compassionate, driven by integrity, and willing to work just as hard as the millions of New Yorkers who call this city home. And central to that effort is a transition team that is defined by the excellence New Yorkers will soon come to expect.
Well, hey, good for him, eh? All right. So let's go see what's going on here. How has Now been moving? Now is actually down a little bit. 147. Oh, look at it. 869 line is the one to watch. A little low momentum here, low volumes, a lot of enthusiasm. What's it? CLSK? CleanSpark. CleanSpark, 4.7 billies now for CleanSpark. Wow. What do they even do? CleanSpark Investor Relations. Let's see here. America's Bitcoin miner. Okay, well, this is all going to be relative to the price appreciation of Bitcoin. October Bitcoin mining update. Bitcoin produced 612. Wow, they actually produced Bitcoin. Average daily Bitcoin production. Bro, 619 Bitcoin a day, or sorry. 612 Bitcoin in a month. 19 Bitcoin per day. It's kind of cool. 1.3 gigawatts under contract. Wow, they got a pump, man. Does Kevin share his current buys, sells anywhere? Yes, in the Alpha report. Go to meetkevin.com. You pay once, you get lifetime access. All right, so night a big win for Democrats. China places a Hong Kong-sized bet on Western decline. Yeah. Gerrymandering is now the wind beneath Gavin Newsom's wins. How much wealth would be destroyed by an AI stock market crash? Well, I don't know. All of it? No. Investors have a habit of getting carried away with new technologies. Over the past 200 years, breakthroughs have often led to stock market bubbles and corrections. Well, duh. I mean, there's always going to be another dump. This isn't a surprise. One of the most dramatic was the dot-com crash at the turn of the millennium. Plenty of bank bosses and analysts now worry that today's mania over AI could be similar. Market cap of the S&P 500 as a percentage of GDP. Right. Well, this is going to show us like an off-the-chart line. Yeah, exactly. You know, and this is the you know, you look at like the Warren Buffett indicator. This is what gives him heart palpitations, right? The Buffett indicator. All right. Share of U.S. household assets in stocks, 21% in Q2. Let's go. Foreign investors, U.S. households. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. One reason investors fear an AI crash is how strongly America's big firms are tied to the technology. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. If the tech fails to deliver juicy returns, they would all be hit hard, along with a large number of Americans. Well, yeah. Is this the number that they indicate? Let me see here. Crash today would have a bigger effect on ordinary Americans. Right. I actually agree with that. It'd actually make the whole recession even worse. So 42 trillion or 20% of America's wealth is in stocks. A drop in nominal values on the same scale as the dot-com bust would wipe out 8% of American household wealth, which is like 40% of it, basically. Totals do not include indirect holdings, such as investments via pension funds. 40% drop. Economists was worried about a 40% drop. Oh, you bears. All right. There should be flashing red lights, Steve Bannon on Mom Not England. Yeah. Well, I mean, saw it coming. It was pretty obvious based on all the polling leading into it. Okay. How's the journal doing today? Any good, let's see here. Don't worry, be happy. Trump's New World Order. Trump's blanket tariffs are a bridge too far. Democrats start their comeback. AI and the white-collar political upheaval. Manufacturing job losses in the 2000s affected politics. Disruptions to desk jobs, too, will affect that, too. Probably more Democrat voters, then, is the thesis, isn't it? Okay. Trickle could become a tidal wave. In June, Amazon expected to lay off more people due to efficiency. Walmart said they don't want to hire, blah, blah, blah. These developments are starting to hit newly minted college grads hard. National Association of Colleges and Employers reported the class of 2025 submitted more job applications than the class of 24 and received fewer offers. Yeah. Okay. They don't actually give much on the color of the impact that could have. Okay, fine. So how are we doing on our curve? 52 on the shock spread. Gold's down. Bonds at 4.15. Oh, my number. Will the Qs break 622? Are they still stuck at 622? It's kind of embarrassing. Like, get it up. Yeah, dude. What the hell? Why are you getting stuck at 622? Get your butt moving. Interest, big winners, big losers, blah, 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 blah. All right, let's go back to repo. Let's go see what some of the suits are saying. The suits! Yeah, still nothing on the books today. But yeah, yesterday on the liquidation. Kind of makes sense. Okay, let's go to see what the suits have. The suits! All right. All right, just got an update. We're already, I mean, the day just started and we're already almost at a six-figure day for fundraising over at househack.com. Doing business as Reinvest. Same company. All right, you can learn more. Read the offering circular. This is not a solicitation. Okay, so Let's see what we've got here. What does Rabobank have today? Rabobank today. What do they have to say? China. Fixed income. Where's their... They have anything in the US? Here we go. Shifting balance. Data this summer have clearly shifted the balance of risk. This is old news. December rate cut's not a done deal yet. Oh, whatever. You just freaking bore me. Wait, what did they say about Canada being the Titanic? Rearranging furniture on the Titanic? Oh, Lord. After 32 months, the Bank of America has concluded its rate cut cycle. With this momentous occasion in front, let's walk down memory lane. Let's not. Rearranging furniture on the Titanic. On the headline is it's kind of funny. I like it. All right, but otherwise, content-wise, we're a little content-starved. Markets were risk-off yesterday, led by a sell-off in tech, worries about valuations, talks between blah, 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 shift in tone, not surprising, recalibration, fine. Broader economic, still harder to gauge. The day ahead, we're going to hear arguments on the Supreme Court. Big deal. Deliberations will take weeks. Oh, it'll take months. It'll be months before we hear anything on this. Fearless sell-off. No panic, just pain. Everything stretched. Fear high valuations. Downside exposure. Boring. Alright, what do we got over here? How about the suits? No intervention from the Danish. ANZ, commodity prices, Indonesia GDP, China data preview, boring. Morning research from Barclays. Ooh. Oh, they're just giving like price target updates. Who cares? Oh, that's boring. BNY. Market movers. Overvalued. Let's see what their explanation is. Explain it to me like I'm 5. Wall Street CEOs warn of market pullback from rich valuations. Valuations are nuts. What changed? Pullback started in Asia, continues in the US. Fears of overvaluation dominating. This was yesterday, right? The return of US exceptionalism is stalling as investors rethink the costs of AI versus the benefits. This is such a generic line. This is not news. Boring. Bank of America. Vol up says bubble building, but still early. Now I know a thing or two about being early. Nobody knows early better than me.
Welcome. Nice to have you. So you want to talk about lovemaking, right?
So, let's see here. Boring, boring, boring. Top 10 biggest stress movers. Government bonds. Oh, yeah, okay. So, yeah, biggest stress, boring. After a brief summer lull, single stock fragility has seen a meaningful uptick back towards AI highs. Oh, okay. All right. Also boring. Citigroup. Ripples linger. Ooh. Goldman Sachs. Anything interesting from the Goldman Sachs weenies? Oh, really? Let's see their trading notes. Weekly options. Uber. Let's see what they say about Uber. That could be interesting. Take a look at their Uber take. And quick hits on the market. Okay. Let's see what you got. Well, let's see here. Market breadth, rallies narrowed, a lot of ways to measure this. I don't think weak breadth is a guarantee of anything. Yeah, I mean, of course not. Chart of the day, AI weakness. There was a great reason for the sell, signs of fatigue and fading momentum. Okay, all right, this is interesting. Let me see what they say here. Global equities calls. Let's save that. Pop this puppy open. All right. This is the first one that actually might have some interesting insight here. Okay. Earnings day remains significant. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. AI weakness. Worst day since April. No smoking gun outside of Palantir getting hit. Continued bubble concerns. There's great reason for the sell-off. Just signs. There was never a great reason, right, for the sell-off. Just fatigue and fading momentum. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be some profit-taking, trader momentum now that earnings are done. You know, people come in for earnings and then they leave after earnings. All right. Productivity. Okay, you don't need to tell me that there's a conspicuous wedge right now between the jobs market and GDP. I'm inclined to think this will be a challenging feature, not an oddity of the economy going forward. As we see AI kick in, productivity growth is ramping up. Fed funds, general assumption neutral is around 3%. Everyone's worried about the labor market. Yeah, the next chair is apt to be more dovish. Yeah, I agree with that too. Two or three companies have beaten. Oh boy. Kevin's too tired today. Search of why, expect for a question of magnitude. All feature in, okay, flow of funds positioning. Not much new to say here on flows, correct. Pretty boring. Hey, accuser still at 622. Man, just not moving. Stuck in the mud. All right. I dropped my pen. That's more news than anything we've gotten out of these suits so far. Breaking news. Kevin dropped his pen. And we can always talk about, should we talk about STRC and how they're a scam? Who wants to hear me dump on Michael Saylor? That could be fun. You could take a giant, fresh, warm, moist, only slightly moist though because of the fiber, but not too much that it's diarrhea, dump on Michael Saylor. We could do that. That'd be fun. For me. Some Bitcoin people are getting pissed. But even they should be looking at this going, nah, man, it might be right. That is kind of a scam. So that could be fun. What do they say about Pinterest here? Pins. Overall revenue growth trends remain solid. Key pockets. User growth engagements tend to continue to build momentum, especially amongst Gen Z. Levitt, Trump's speech at 1 p.m. Eastern will be about the economy. Oh, whatever, dude. It's going to be so late. So 1 p.m. Eastern, it'll be like 3 p.m. Eastern. All right. Well, it looks like people really want to hear my dumping. I guess we could do that. I'm just a little disappointed the queues aren't higher right now. I'm waiting for 627. That's what I'm looking for today. And we're right now at 623. So we could just get a little bit more of a pump here. So far, the direction is right. Nicely up. We need a little bit more of a pump here. Come on, man. What else? Oh, IREN. Nice little pop off on IREN today, huh? Bitcoin, somewhat stable around the 103 level. Yeah, thanks for donating $5 to say you're not even covering the one thing that's moving markets right now. If you think the Supreme Court talk on tariffs is moving markets right now, I should just give you your $5 back because you're terribly wrong. We do not expect a Supreme Court decision until like April or May. So this whole like, you're not even covering the one thing that's is just wrong. All right. Did I ever play World of Warcraft? I was a Season 2 Merciless Gladiator. One of the first Merciless Gladiators. Top Illidan slaying druid. All right. What's Jim Chanos' thought on IREN? IREN taking all the risk. Well, below IREN's despite IREN skyrocketing news and the deal's financials are below their cost of capital. And even with favorable assumptions, the project's return on invested capital is 7.7%. Dismissing market enthusiasm. Whatever. You're right. Druids can't equip Warglaives, but we would always... I mean, everybody wants the Warglaives, so that's why I hang them on my wall, because I can't equip them. So, but you can earn them. You can earn them, but you can't equip them. That's classist, man. You're getting all classist on me. Rude. Rub it in where it hurts. It's like, oh, you were born wrong. You can't equip the legendary Warglaives. Yeah, but I can equip a legendary line on Bitcoin at 102.164. Okay. I think it's time. I think it's time to dump on Sailor. Hey, unless there's some Sarah Eisen. Spirit Airlines cuts 150 salary jobs. How do they still have salary jobs? I thought they were bankrupt. Whatever. If I want to invest right now, should I look for companies with strong cash positions in the market and healthy revenues? I don't know where to park my money other than lowering my ROI money market. House hack! Not personalized advice. Read the offering circular. All right, let's see what they got over here.
Stock. And joining us this morning here at Post 9 is JLL CEO Christian Ulbrich. It's good to have you back, Christian. Welcome. Was this deceleration? This makes sense, the reaction?
Well, I would say no, but we have to accept how the market
You
reacts.
don't have to be a rogue wannabe druid. You just go into cat form and you're basically a rogue.
Not only is this about national security, but also our economic security around the world.
And the president says that he has used these tariffs to come up with 11 countries and entities that have signed on or agreed to a framework deal related to trade. Back to you.
We'll take it, Edward. Thank you. Economist Anthony Chan joins me now. Anthony, if tariffs are struck down by the Supreme Court, is there any way that President Trump can just get around it?
Oh, easily, Stuart. I just wrote a Substack article that was released today.
Oh, Substack.
It looks at 5 different options that the president has. You've mentioned some there, but there's 201, Section 201, Section 122, Section 338, along with the other 2 that were mentioned, 301 and, of course, 232. So he's got a lot of options in order to keep these tariffs going. Now, what is the catch? The catch is that many of these, you're going to need a government entity to somehow conduct an investigation to show that these things...
Russia supplying Venezuela. It's not a surprise, man. Russia wants to do anything to weaken the U.S. So does China. You know, so they align with these other companies. All right, so somebody donated some Dalahalas here to take a non-personalized financial advice look at Very. $500 million market cap company. They just raised $75 million. And let's see what we have here. So they did an equity offering for $75 million. They've got revenue that's flat year over year. Where do they even make money from? Oh. Well, their operating expenses push them negative, so they're losing money. Their cash flow shows their money raised. They're selling stock. Balance sheet. Balance sheet compared to cash, actually not bad. Especially now that they did another offering. So I just don't know what they do, but they have flat revenues. So what do they sell? IR calendar, that's fine. What is this? Veritone unveils new AI-powered features to its Redact solution. What, like AI redact stuff? Who cares? Human-centered enterprise AI solutions. Veritone Redact automates the process of redacting sensitive information. Oh, come on, dude. What do they actually do other than that? No wonder their revenues are flat. Industries, platform, capabilities. Let's see what they do. Here. Veritone annual report. Let's see what they say they do. Veritone is the provider of AI. Ooh. We're driven by the belief that AI is the key to the safer, more efficient. Dude, just tell me what you're going to do, you losers. A proprietary AI system is AI-ware. Sounds like vaporware. Uses MLs. Yeah, no shit. Okay. Highly modularized, customized, expandable to deploy in the cloud. AI-ware offers capabilities that are designed to mimic human cognitive function. Who cares? So where's the money? We generate revenue through our contracts. We also operated a full service advertising agency, Veritone One. Oh, they sold it. They sold it, I think. Yeah, divestiture. A strategic shift. All right. I don't know, man. Revenues are flat. I don't know anything about the product. I don't use the product. It's a small company, though. So the thing is, these small companies, they can skyrocket. Although, keep in mind, they just announced a $75 million ATM. So, you know, they're going to be looking to do some diluting. They just announced that. Here. Offering of $75 million. 12 million shares at $5.83. Entered into it. What's the stock trading for? Oh yeah, just slightly above that. 75 mil. Purchase and sale of an aggregate. They expect to raise 75 mil. Anyway, they're just gonna burn it. Wow, UPS crash death toll is expected to rise to 10. Dude, that sucks. That really sucks. All right, that was boring. Okay, so we need to do this MicroStrategy video, and I need to dump on them. And then after I dump on them, if there's anything broadly, there's just really nothing going on otherwise. The markets are mostly slightly up to sideways. Dems obviously had a big win. We've got the white collar upheaval. Wall Street couldn't stop Mondani. The Supreme Court's nonsense doesn't matter. Intensifying competition for copycat drugs for Ozempic. Big deal. Okay. Can't Look Away, the case against social media. A documentary film explores the real-world consequences.
Breaks on their behavior.
Gone a month later. Not saying people don't sell drugs on other platforms, but
That basis provide for the first
Sell
time
drugs? Uh-huh.
a legal handle
features that company not be sued for this.
Senator, I view my job and the job of our company as building the best tools that we can to keep our community safe.
Well, you're failing at that.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Everybody wants me to talk about this stupid Supreme Court thing. I will explain it first, and we can talk about MicroStrategy, and then I do need another cup of coffee first, though. So let's see what we have here. Tesla shareholder vote. Perfect.
Importantly, it's just really to make sure that it's clear. Obviously, as your viewers certainly saw, the proxy advisors came out and actually commented on the plan and some other aspects as well. And then we just wanted to make sure that the shareholders, not the proxy advisors, were very fully informed about what the plan is and why this is different from what the ISS or Glass Lewis is really reviewing.
So the biggest headline of this week is that Norway's sovereign wealth fund came out and voted no against the proposed pay package. Not an advisory, but an actual shareholder. I believe Tesla's 9th biggest shareholder. And their argument was very simple, that they appreciated the significant value that Mr. Musk has created, but argue that this proposal, the total size of the award is too great. And like the advisory services, they're worried about dilution. Could you respond to that dilution part?
Yeah, well, first, let me just address, obviously, they also opposed the pay plan on the ratification last year as well. So for me, it was a little hard to understand kind of the rhetoric versus the reality, because they've been a shareholder in Tesla since 2011. So right after the IPO, they had a very small position, and they've actually continued to build that position to where they are today. So although they may have some concerns, they've enjoyed the benefit of nearly a 40,000% increase in their share value during that particular time, and constantly adding to their position. So they're obviously willing to enjoy the benefits of that. With respect to the dilution, it's been very clear about what the plan was. And I know we talked about this last time, Ed, which was when the special committee, Robin Denholm and Kathleen Wilson-Thompson, sat down with Elon to understand not only his vision for Master Plan 4, but obviously what he wanted to accomplish. And Elon has been very clear about this, and obviously the chair as well, which is he wanted to make sure he has enough voting influence, and that number was around 25%, that would matter for him. This has been discussed as well, which is the committee reviewed numerous ways of finding a way to actually accomplish the voting and decoupling the economics. And unfortunately, under current exchange rules that we have today with either, NASDAQ, NYSE has the similar rules. You can't go and do a high vote or dual class listing once you've been listed on the exchange.
Shane, we've also spoken to Tesla's board chair, Robin Denholm, subsequently since you're on the program, right? And
look, so I was listening to this. It's going to pass. I'm really not heavily worried about it. And people are going to yap about it. But Elon's got a lot of work to do. So let him go to work. Okay. So, what do we got? Dude, let's go, man. The Qs are kicking butt right now. All right, let's break this down. Let's talk about what's going on in the market. Let's talk about what's going on with the Supreme Court. Let's talk about what some of the Fed updates are. All right. Cool. Well, markets are enthusiastic that tariffs are going to be declared illegal. Betting markets now seeing only an 18% chance that Donald Trump's emergency powers are going to stay. Just a few problems that you've got to know. First of all, the Supreme Court might be hearing arguments on tariffs today, but let's be real. They're not going to make a decision anytime soon. That's because of the way the Supreme Court's docket actually works. We'll have hearings now on many different topics and cases, but we won't actually end up hearing results until after the Supreme Court justices end up discussing or deliberating with each other the potential outcome, and then, of course, eventually voting on the legality of these tariffs. Now, Donald Trump knows that his odds of winning these IEEPA tariffs aren't looking so good. This is why we're likely to hear from Donald Trump how the economy is booming. The only reason there are uncertainties are because of the Democrat shutdown, which is his branding of it, of course. And we're obviously going to hear about some good job numbers this morning, which, in fairness, the ADP report this morning was smashing. Heavily driven, mind you, by the West Coast, California, Washington, and large firm hiring, so relatively concentrated. Most of the country lost jobs, most businesses outside of large companies lost jobs, but we still ended up with a positive jobs read from the ADP private data collectors. Now, we don't have government layoffs included in there for, Doge layoffs from February that would end up showing up in September, October data. We don't have that because the government shut down. But what we do have is enthusiasm compared to what we saw yesterday and some changes in the funding market. Quick note, I want to give you a heads up of what I'll just transparently reveal to you what my goal was for today on the NASDAQ. This morning, the NASDAQ was negative when we were doing our market open and pre-market open course member live stream. The market was negative on the Qs. And my projection was that we will end up going positive, but not just that. I had a target of 627 for today and 630 for Friday. Now, knock on wood, we might not make it to 627, but we've gone from 618 to 624 already. So I know there are people in the course live that are like, bro, I've paid for my course many times over. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out at meetkevin.com. You pay once, you get lifetime access, and it could be a tax write-off for you. But that was an example of what we forecast today. Part of that, mind you, some of the liquidity stress that we've seen over the last few days has begun to fade. Now, why has that faded? Well, probably because of the very sell-off that we had yesterday. Take a look at this. Funding stress yesterday almost fell back in line with the last week of October over here, actually slightly below it. Now, we still see repo usage, which we haven't seen repo usage until the last week of October. So we're still seeing some repo usage. But I think one of the reasons this fell so much yesterday is because there was so much selling in the stock market, you raised your liquidity from other ways. You literally raised $500 billion of stock market liquidity through selling. So what a surprise, you didn't have to go use $40 billion of the repo facilities. But I expect more volatility to come here. Now, did I go bullish today because of this repo number? No, because we had a sell-off. That's not a big deal. Were we bullish on the Alpha report this morning because of the tariffs? Only in part. I highly anticipate that these tariffs are going to be declared illegal, but I've made this clear for months. The Supreme Court's not going to rule on this until April to May. That's my expectation. It could be as early as February, so I could be wrong that it'll end up taking until April or May, but my assumption is we're not going to hear about it until April or May. Could come as soon as February, but it's not going to happen today. But what's happening is people are starting to see the arguments under the hood. And they're basically, like, the core crux of the argument comes down to, is the president allowed to tax without the authorization of Congress? Now, the Trump administration is making an argument that, no, we're not taxing. We're just using emergency powers to regulate foreign countries. The fact that they raise tariff revenue is just incidental to what we're doing. Now, John Sawyer, U.S. Solicitor General working for Trump, I have a few choice words for you. You're full of shit. I'm sorry, but let's be real. The whole damn point of tariffs is so Trump can go, look how much money we're raising. Now, I'm going to spend some of that on money for the companies bending the knee to me, money for people that I just pardoned that are going to invest in World Liberty Financial Token, money into whatever other things we want to spend money on, because we're going to show you how we uncorrupt Washington, D.C. Because D.C. was mega corrupt before I got here. So let me show you how not corrupt it is now by allocating all this tariff revenue exactly where I want it. And then if you ask me why I pardoned certain scumbag frauds, I'll be very clear to tell you I have no idea who you're talking about. But anyway, Donald Trump's team, they're going to lose this argument. This is pretty obvious. It's obvious that tariffs are designed to raise revenue. Yes, if anything, I would actually argue that tariffs are primarily a protectionist tool designed to raise revenue and increase the ability for our American firms to manufacture, even though we're really not competitive on a global scale. And this, the actual byproduct is that you regulate, our relations with foreign powers. But I think mostly this is, hey, we want to try to give a leg up to our manufacturers and we want to raise revenues. So I think they'll probably end up losing this argument here, almost certainly. Now, again, we won't hear about that until next year. And then, of course, a lot of us are saying like, hey, like, is this going to be a good thing, though? Is it going to be a bullish catalyst? Because after all, we're all looking for...
Bullish catalyst.
Yes and no. Yes, it's going to be a bullish catalyst in the sense that the tariffs are going to get struck down between February and May. However, Donald Trump's just going to use another section of the tax code or whatever. He'll move to Section 232 tariffs instead of IEEPA tariffs. And then you'll be right back at a 2-year court fight. And you're just going to have these tariffs for his entire administration. And it ain't going to be until he gets reamed by Democrats in 2028. And you get a Democrat president who on day one cancels all of Trump's stupid tariffs. That's when the tariffs will go away. Now, the problem is by then we could be in a pooper duper recession. Knock on wood, I hope not. So far, praise the Lord, so far, the labor market is doing okay. Now, let me show you Kevin's Bear Bull Scale, which you can get totally for free by going to meetkevin.com/data. It's the free page. Oh, look at this. I just got a $5 donation. Kevin, thanks for the alpha report and call on QQQ. I made 3x the membership fee today. Let's freaking go, dude. Let's go. I love hearing that. Thank you for saying that. That's really cool. So good for you. Congratulations. Really happy to hear that. Yeah, I mean, look, it was not a foregone conclusion that the market was going to go green today, but I mean, we enumerated all of our reasons as to why we thought the market was going to go green today. It's not like I just showing you market's going green today, boys and girls. Like, I put together all the information for you so you can make an informed decision. And that way also you can know, like, all right, like, if this, then that, right? That's kind of the important part, because I can't hold your hand all day long. So I gotta give you like frameworks. Anyway, this is so the taco scale. I've got Trump at an 8 out of 8 on the taco scale as of today, because I discounted this a little bit because of the Canada situation. Keep in mind, this is at meetkevin.com/data. You can also sign up for the daily wealth email here. Dude, I'm getting so many emails from people going, thank you for these insights. Like, these are free insights that you get on the daily wealth. They're really good. Honestly, we should charge for it. But if you want this for free, you could sign up for the Daily Wealth for free. You could either get that through the Meet Kevin app or email if you want. But anyway, on the Bear Bull Scale, so I've got the Bear Bull Scale at about a 5.7 right now, because I'm actually bullish corporate earnings outside of consumer discretionaries. We just have those underlying issues around liquidity, private credit, jobs. These are just lingering uncertainties that say, hey, these are real issues and that could end up being shocks, right? Which isn't great. But these could be shocks. Right now, like yesterday, I even tweeted this, but we went through the earnings in more detail in the Course Member Live this morning on AMD. I'm like, guys, these numbers on AMD are great. You have to understand, AMD is only doing 46% of their revenue from data centers. NVIDIA is doing 88% from data centers. So, like, their numbers could financially transform as they get into more data center, revenues with their OpenAI partnership. I mean, $100 billion over the next few years is a game changer to their revenues. They could be doubling revenues. It's insane. So they're like, the fact that this was negative 4% yesterday and after hours, I'm like, this is dumb. AMD had good earnings, but whatever. So, okay. So the tariff catalyst, I think this is pretty clear. I think you understand where my head is on this. You could see some of the commentary on this. IEEPA was directly intended to constrain authority when it was passed in the 70s to restrain Nixon. But what's actually happening is Donald Trump is using IEEPA to expand his authorities. Justice John Roberts, who's actually usually a shill for Trump. Do I still have the sheet, or did I finally get rid of it? I think I finally got rid of it. Oh, no, there it is. There it is. I found it. I knew I kept it. I knew it. John Roberts votes for Trump 74% of the time. Alito 95% of the time for Trump. Gorsuch 95% of the time for Trump. Kavanaugh 89% for Trump. Thomas 89% for Trump. Barrett 79% for Trump. And then, of course, Kagan, Sotomayor, and Jackson, they don't vote for Trump. Take a screenshot of this. Put this as like the background on your phone. Just get my fingers out of there. You don't need my fingers in there. There you go. Yeah, there. All right, cool. All right. Like, come on, man. Like, but the problem is, this is just going too far, but they'll kick the can so far down the road, it won't feel like, it'll give Trump plenty of time to adjust. So then they talk about IEEPA being used to ban certain products, like from Iran or from Russia. Big deal. Alito asked whether the Supreme Court should address President Trump's authority to impose tariffs under authorities other than the law at issue. Oh, shit. Oh, Alito. Oh, that line right there.
Bullish catalyst.
Big PP.
Kevin is very talented, but I don't know if it's going to be him, but he's a very talented guy.
I think that Kevin's a brilliant guy, and I think that we'd all be very lucky to have him.
I love this. This is very good. This is fantastic. This is great. Look at this. Alito asked whether the Supreme Court should address the authority to impose tariffs under other rules, because that's literally what Trump is just going to do. I mean, you heard me just say it. You know, Trump's just going to go, all right, fine, you're going to take away my IEEPA tariffs? I'll use Section 232. And then look at this. They even write here, that would be unusual. And his question indicates he may think the administration is in trouble on the central issue in the case. Totally agree. Dude, bullish. Now that is something I can get behind.
Bullish catalyst.
I like that. What a badass. Wait, where's Alito? Alito. Survey says Alito votes in favor of Donald Trump 95% of the time. And Alito's pissed. Damn, bro. Oh, that ain't priced in. That's good. That's sexy. President is seeking power to set aside all of our trade treaties unilaterally under the word regulate. I just don't think it can bear weight. Yeah. Alito asked challengers what would happen if the president simply reimposed the tariffs using other authorities. At that point, we'd have that case. Right. Then you'd have to go litigate that for 2 years. That's my point. That's exactly the game plan. I have to say, though, I wasn't expecting the Supreme Court to potentially go, hey, do we also want to block all of his ability to add tariffs? Especially since the arguments, against these tariffs are very clear. Tariffs are taxes. Our founders gave the power to tax to Congress. Major questions doctrine. Yeah. So honestly, that line right there, which just came out within the last few minutes while we've been recording this segment here, that is huge. So remember that the major questions doctrine is basically this legal principle that says Congress gives the power to enact very specific procedures like taxation or other things that aren't explicitly delegated to states or to the president. They go to Congress. And that's what's being sort of bypassed here. But that's a big line, man. I'm jumping up and down on the inside about that. But this is great. Very good. Okay, listen. Now, we got to talk about the Federal Reserve a little bit. So we did have Myron this morning yap that even though the ADP report was a, quote, welcome surprise, he says, I would think it's still reasonable to continue to cut rates. Remember, he's been pushing for 50 basis point cuts over and over and again. This ADP report was good. It wasn't like mega broad based. So it does indicate that if we lose that sort of remaining support, if you will, you're going to have negative jobs very rapidly. So as much as I cheer the ADP report that we got, I want you to see just how tight it was. Because look, we got 42,000, which is great. But understand this, if you took away the 74,000 jobs created by large employers, mind you what we heard from Walmart freezing hiring, Target laying off, Amazon laying off, right? You take away those large hirers, what happens to the report? Well, if you took away the 74,000 gain, you would be at negative 32,000 jobs. You'd be in recession. And this right here, most of those 74,000 jobs or most of the job gains actually came from the West Coast. And people hate the West Coast because it's deemed to be, you know, the libtard West. I mean, I happen to be in the libtard West, I guess. I actually like where I live. But anyway, look at where the jobs are. It's almost all in the Pacific. 37,000 jobs in the Pacific. If you took away just the Pacific, you would have only created 3,000 jobs. So, like, as usual, as much as people dump on states like California, California is providing for the rest of the damn country. It is a donor state after all, right? We provide more to the federal government than we take. We just have a dumbass governor that I tried to run against, but whatever. You know, this is, by the way, that's me being politically neutral. Yeah, I mean, look at it. If you took away the West Coast, bro, this would be a horrible, horrible jobs report. So, you know, good job, liberals. You gotta love them because they're providing for us once again. Gotta give them credit where credit's due, okay? What am I? Am I a liberal? Am I a Republican? I have no idea what I am. I'm Kevin. That's what I am. I'm an American. Born in Germany, though. So does that make me less of an American? Oh, he's an immigrant. Oh, no. Let's deport his ass. Anyway, so, look. Myron begging for cuts? No shit. Like, of course that's what he's going to do. The jobs report, it was good. Okay, I said in yesterday's Alpha report that I will buy the dip tomorrow if the jobs report is above my, you know, my thresholds. I did what I said I was going to do. Obviously, I sent that alert to people in the Alpha report as we do. Now, if I look at the odds of a rate cut in December, on December 10th, they have fallen from about 69% straight through 6-7 all the way down to 63%. So we only have, like, we've lost some odds of a Fed rate cut here. So, all right. So, jobs good, which is bearish bonds, but it's bullish the stock market. Now, do we have issues? Of course. The liquidity issues, you know, the fears about valuations. I mean, look at what The Economist said. The Economist has this whole piece about how the share of U.S. household assets and stocks sits at 21%, which is basically a record high. Margin debts are at record high. We have $42 trillion in household wealth in the stock market. And if we had a stock market crash, the likes of the dot-com bubble of a 40% crash, we'd be in the dump really fast. The Buffett indicator is at the highest levels we've basically ever seen it, market cap to S&P 500. We've never been higher than this. Nobody knows a more expensive market than what we have here. But who cares? Because right now, those job numbers are good. Now, what's our next catalyst? The next catalyst.
Bullish catalyst.
Why do we want to know?
Because that's why.
Oh, because that's why. That's right. All right. The next catalyst really is government reopening, which is bearish. But until then, I think we can ride the coattails of this good jobs data and the hope that eventually these tariffs will be declared illegal, although Trump will kick and scream all the way to the, you know, wherever you go when you go to tariff jail, I guess. Although he'll just pardon himself. But anyway, yeah, bullish through reopening. I don't think we're going to go with the nuclear option, but I do think we are getting somewhat closer to reopening, which is also bullish. Because if you take a look at even just what we're seeing at, let me give you some of the latest updates here on what we've got. Oh, by the way, quick shout outs. House Hack, I'm pretty sure we're now crossing 6 figures for the day. So this is, I thought last month was going to be our biggest fundraising month for House Hack. It actually might be November if this pace keeps going. So anyway, shout out to those of you checking out househack.com, read the offering circular, or reinvest the same company. So Donald Trump told Senate Republicans Wednesday the GOP would become a dead party if they don't get rid of the filibuster. The problem with that is Republicans realize if you get rid of the filibuster, the 60-vote requirement to get through this, Democrats are just going to hose you in 2029 when they take control, and then the Republicans have no filibuster to block this. Crazy. So, that's a big deal. And that's why Republicans are like, we could do that, but that would help Trump right now in his term, but it would screw us forever. that, because you limit the ability to basically block things you don't like. Which, remember, that's what Congress is designed to do. Nothing. They're designed to be a dysfunctional entity on purpose. The founding fathers wanted that. They wanted Congress to come together only when they truly needed to, because it at least somewhat limits the spending that government does. Somewhat. Of course, they still spend like drunk sailors, but then again, it's the federal government. And what happens over time as democracies mature, they become more democratic, they become more socialist. The Democrats obviously destroyed Republicans yesterday. Even Vivek said that. Big warning sign to the MAGAs. But people are going to get mad at me for saying MAGAs. Saying the MAGAs, I don't think is condescending. I think it's an observation. But anyway, to me, there is a substantial risk of the government just continuing to spend into deficits. But we're not going to have to pay that bill probably for another 20 years. There will be a fiscal crisis at some point in the future, and it will reduce our growth relative to countries like China. But we don't have to pay that bill yet, so we could be bullish for a while. So I like that. I mean, broadly,
bullish catalyst.
The jobs report today, great. Are there still concerns around private credit? Absolutely. Are there still concerns around liquidity? Absolutely. Are there concerns about how crappily concentrated the jobs gains were in the libtard zone? Absolutely. Which is a problem, because you make too much fun of them and they stop hiring. We got no legs to stand on anymore. You kind of need them right now. And so maybe that's why we're seeing a little bit of a move back up on the 10-2 curve, back into shock territory around 53. But yeah, that gives you a little rundown of what the hell's going on in the market today. And come on, Q's, get to 627. All right, very good. So let's see here. What else? Oh, yeah, I need to do quick. I got asked by me sponsor. Let's see here. To do a mention. Okay, so they're doing, investing.com is doing their pre-sale, early bird Black Friday sale. You get 55% off plus 15%. Let's see here. Okay. Here's the banner on that. Okay. So thanks again to our sponsor, investing.com. Early bird Black Friday. Save 55% on the Investing Pro or Pro Plus subscription, plus 15 extra % off if you use my code MEETKEVIN. Sweet. Okay, that's done. Great. All right, what do we got going on over here?
He will have to work with Mamdani on how to come up with the messaging around any pullbacks of funding. And then when he takes office on January 1st, I think one of the first things he has to do, besides his first deputy mayor, is get that corporation counsel, get a tough lawyer in office to figure out how they're going to fight back against Trump, because that's going to be what the city does. We saw just a few months ago when the federal government under Elon Musk and Doge literally pulled back money from the city's account because of the handling of the migrant crisis here in the city. And they expect stuff like that to happen again with Trump. Trump has said he's not sending money to New York City under a so-called socialist. We'll see if that actually happens.
All right, Miles, great to have you live from
blah, 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 blah. All right, so Netflix turns green. Let's go.
Gain the lead.
Alt 5 scam back in the toilet. Duh. Tesla up 1.5 on the vote. The vote.
It's great to see you, and I'd like to get granular with you. If
granular?
Here
yeah, that's what you say on your first date. Hey, Sarah, I'd like to get granular with you.
And how Zoran Mamdani pulled this off.
Well, it certainly is a mandate. We saw turnout in New York City greater than we've seen in 30 years. Mamdani himself garnered over 1 million votes, most especially dramatic.
I basically got 1 million votes in California.
Educated voters. He did extremely well in areas of Brooklyn, Manhattan. The only borough that Andrew Cuomo was victorious in was Staten Island. Obviously a historic Republican stronghold. And at this point, it does appear that relative to polling, there was some movement. Curtis Sliwa's vote relative to polling ended up migrating a little bit towards Andrew Cuomo. But with Mamdani crossing that 50% mark, that's a sweeping victory, over 1 million votes cast for him. And it really comes down to affordability, affordability, affordability. I mean, that's where he kept his laser focus. That polls extremely well in New York City, New York State in general, the entire country. And if you compare Mamdani's support on that issue to the current low polling that President Trump is receiving in terms of how well he's doing on addressing affordability, those battle lines are clearly drawn. Right now in New York City, there is this sweeping groundswell of support for Mamdani. Now we're going to see what takes place as he moves to take office. How well can he deliver? Can he hold this enthusiasm that he garnered in the election?
Got it. So in this case, when you consider these results and you look across the country at some of the other races that we were tracking in New Jersey, for instance, right across the river, down in Virginia, the Democrats who resonated with voters were quite different than Zoran Mamdani, and there's a difficult conversation, I guess. Maybe it's not difficult, but a family conversation among Democrats to figure out what the playbook is for the midterm elections. Is there going to be a jackknife approach where Democrats offer a menu of selections, or do they need to find a unifying message?
Well, sure. I mean, there's a lot of talk about who's the face of the Democratic Party. Clearly, and we've seen already, Elise Stefanik, who more than likely is going to oppose Kathy Hochul for governor here in New York, is very out front describing Mamdani now as the face of the entire Democratic Party. It appears, when you look across the river at Mikey Sherman.
That's big.
If you look in the D.C. area, of course, in Virginia, Abigail Spanberger, there are multiple faces of the Democratic Party right now. In New York City, it's Mamdani. But, if you look at Sherrill, if you look at Spanberger used the word pragmatist. That's a different sort of Democrat. So right now, I think Democrats, what they share in common is that the issue of affordability, the issue of, how well has President Trump done in nearly a year in office of addressing what he said was going to be a new era of prosperity. Voters last night, in effect, said, I don't feel that way. And so
all right. I'm bored of this.
Really are quite different. Sherrill Spanberger.
Full circle. Somebody says, Kevin, please run again for California and take notes on how Mamdani won. All right. You know what? I'm going to do something. All right. Hey, ChatGPT, meet Kevin Paffrath and look up his governor campaign from 2021 in California. A ShamWow style pitch for governor in 2026 California election, but throw some Mamdani in there. Make sure we have free buses, free childcare, affordable housing, and some more socialism. But make sure it's ShamWow style, because that's the only way we roll here, okay? All right. All right, boys and girls. You ready for this? Get ready for this. I'm about to get ShamWow meet Kevin. Sham meet. Meet Sham. All right. All right, meet Kevin. ShamWow style incoming, but with a little a la Mahmoud Mamdani. Yes, we're going there. Picture this. You walk into California's future and you slap down a big, bold sponge of solutions that soak up inequality, homelessness, unaffordable housing, Transit deserts, all of it. Let's sell this campaign hard. The California ShamWow Plan 2026. Oh! All right, homies. Here we go. All right, intro pitch. Oh wait, no, where I just want the line. Platform highlights. No, you got to give me a script. No, I need a script. I need a script for the pitch, bro. Something I can read for my campaign event. Perfect. Let's make it live event ready. ShamWow energy meets Mamdani depth. Think charismatic, high-tempo speech with rhythmic punchlines, dramatic pauses, and real structural substance. Hey, California, ever look around and think, why does everything cost so dang much? Housing, outrageous. Childcare, forget it. Buses, barely running. And the folks in charge keep saying, it's complicated. Well, guess what? It's not complicated, it's broken. And when something's broken, you don't wait around. You grab the ShamWow and you fix it. Oh, the ShamWow style. Let's start with transportation. Every Californian deserves more free buses to work, to school, to opportunity. We're rolling out free buses. You heard that right, free. Because mobility is freedom. Okay. And let's talk about our parents, our heroes juggling jobs, bills, and babies. You shouldn't have to choose between work and kids. So under our plan, childcare is free, not as a handout, as a promise. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay. We're gonna soak away those impossible costs, wipe away that stress, and give parents what they deserve. Time, freedom, and dignity. Housing? Oh. Now on this one, every Californian's got a story about rent that's too damn high or a home that's out of reach. Well, I spent years in real estate and I know how the game is rigged, and I'm telling you, we can fix it. We can build tens of thousands of new mixed incomes, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I need more like sizzle here. I need more like ShamWow. It's not socialism, it's smartism. Okay, that's lame, GPT. Yeah, sometimes it gets these good. I don't love this one as much. Let's see here. What else? Okay, now I need shorter. Now give me a 30-second full ShamWow style pitch. I really need the rhymes and fun. Oh, wait. Okay. Before it even writes it. Now make it ridiculously extreme. All right. Hey, California, are you drowning in bills, rent, and billionaires? Well, wipe away your worries. Introducing the People's Plan. Free buses, free childcare, and free homes. Just straight to free homes. We're soaking up greed, wringing out the corruption, and redistributing that sparkle straight to you. You get healthcare, you get housing, you get happiness, because we're taking capitalism, flipping it, dipping it, and squeezing out the profit. Why? Because when everybody wins, we all shine. It's bold, it's bright, it's the California full soak revolution. Socialism that actually sparkles. Now that's ShamWow. That's so crazy. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm done with this. Free houses. Yeah. Forget free childcare and free buses. Forget that. How about just free houses? Oh man. All right. So what else? Tesla now up 2% a day. Q's, come on, baby. The pump keeps going. Dude, Rivian. Holy smokes. What happened over here? So, Rivian had earnings yesterday. But, holy moly. What's our cap on this puppy now? 18 bill. I mean, this is like... Yeah, no, they did rise in after hours as well. From $12 to 15, not bad. Okay. All right. Oh, let's see here. Let's see if the information has anything new right now. It's getting a little lonely. All right. The information. All right. Let's see what we have. Let's see what's inside. Okay. So, nothing new. Wow, that's crazy. What are the zero hedgers saying? Schumer and Jeffries demand meeting with Trump. Okay. You know what I always think is funny? I don't even, like, when people will email like 2 or 3 sometimes of your different email addresses, and it's like, bro, it all goes to the same place. And then it just puts like a little number next to it. It's like, really? You email, like, just pick one. Things aren't looking great for Trump in the Supreme Court arguments. We know that. Never put mustard in the fridge. Yeah, this is how you know it's boring, when their ads are just talking about mustard. Election integrity. Consumer hits renovation spending as leading deck maker share collapse. I mean, that is true. Let's see what they say. Because I'm pretty sure we're still down like 27%. Oh, it's down now 29%. I mean, I don't own any of this, but watching this, wow, 29%, almost the. Could you imagine that? Just have a company in like a third of its market value. Poof. Instantly. I'm like, wow. That's a hit. All right, let's see here. Okay. Cool. Okay. That's this, this. And let's go see what they've got up here.
Conversation for Republicans this morning after the president posted on Truth Social Trump wasn't on the ballot and shut down.
Yeah, that's right. We talked about that earlier too. It's like, wow, if I were on the ballot, we would have won everything.
He summoned Senate Republicans.
Yeah, try that in midterms. I mean, he won't be on the ballot then either, I guess.
Pieces from the elections and dealing with a government shutdown that is now historic, 36 days, the longest of all time. Here's what we heard from President Trump this morning.
I thought we'd have a discussion after the press leaves about what last night represented and what we should do about it, and also about the shutdown, how that relates to last night. I think if you read the pollsters, the shutdown was a big factor, negative for the Republicans. And that was a big factor. And they showed that I wasn't on the ballot. It's the biggest factor.
Let's play it to the panel now. With us, Jeannie Sheehan Zaino, Bloomberg Politics contributor and visiting democracy fellow at Harvard Kennedy School's Ash Center.
Oh, you can fellow us. Come on over.
Stack Strategies. Great to see both of you on this day after. And Jeannie, I hope you got some rest because you were up with us late last evening. I'm wondering your thoughts on the way the president is positioning this, which, by the way, is different than congressional leaders. We heard earlier today from the Speaker of the House.
What happened to the other?
This wasn't even a Republican story last night. The president.
Where'd the other lady go?
Had a big part of it. Is he right?
I think shutdown does play a big role in this, but I also.
Where'd she go? Where'd the blonde lady go?
The fact that he wasn't on the ballot. I read this very much.
Nice to have you. So you want to talk about lovemaking, right?
Lording over this election. And Americans were speaking 1 year ago today. No.
Boring.
Challengers was that Congress has never used the phrase regulate or regulate importation to give the executive branch the power to tax. And even from the liberal justices, they said, if this is an emergency, then why don't you just impose quotas or an importation ban? Why did it have to be tariffs? And the Solicitor General repeatedly said these are regulatory tariffs, not revenue-raising tariffs, not revenue-raising tariffs.
But they are.
But they are, and on the outside, that is all that we hear about is the crowing about these tariffs being revenue raisers. And to your point about being a textualist, Justice Neil Gorsuch, who is kind of a strict textualist, was trying to kind of read the words of the statute literally, and he was really grappling with the concerns about the language of the statute, and also he is very concerned about the separation of powers in the Constitution. And Article 1 grants the power of taxation to the Congress, not the executive branch.
So, Brianna, where do you come down on this?
Well, I think to Jackie's point, I think what President Trump has been doing with the tariffs, and which has been successful, is he's trying to even out a crisis that has been brewing because Republicans and Democrats have allowed the United States to, be raked over the coals by these other countries. And
what over the coals?
Constitutional authority for tariffs and taxation.
Can you say that again?
Delegated some of that authority to the president in 1974 with their Trade Act, right? The president had the ability to deal with negotiations to even out unfair trade practices. So it's not so far stretched to say that the president does have some type of authority. How he gets to use that authority is the question here, but he definitely has the authority to do this. And I hope the Supreme Court is very clear about their decision, because if it's too overarching, you're going to have Democrats fighting every single attempt the president does to bring those tariffs.
We will see. We'll be waiting sort of the decision of that in the coming hours and days. Coming up, McDonald's sending out a warning for the economy, why inflation is taking a bite out of the value menu. Plus, I think I have
That was so funny. Inflation's taking out a bite. So clever. These people who write this crap. We can look at McDonald's. Let's go see what we got here. Let's see here. Okay. So, let's see what Mickey D's is up to. Oh, dude, the queues keep freaking going, baby! Let's go! Alpha Report calls! Luke says, yes, courses and especially daily Alpha Report are very valuable. Oh, thank you for saying that. Oh, you must be responding to someone. Let me see here. McDonald's. All right, what do we got here? McDonald's. Company news. Gaining share with upper income consumers. That's embarrassing. Sees above average inflation next year. Decent start on Monopoly promotion. Dude, is Monopoly back? No. I'm going to McDonald's. McDonald's Monopoly. I remember being 7 years old playing the McDonald's Monopoly, except it turns out that the McDonald's Monopoly game was just like totally rigged the first time they did it. I'm sure it'll be different this time, but back then it was apparently totally rigged by insiders and like the greatest like fraud of a promotion game where the insiders knew where the winning tickets were. Don't wait any longer. Make sure you claim all your Monopoly and McDonald's prizes. You only have until 11/23. Head to the app today. Oh, wow. They're doing the McDonald's. Let's see here. Yeah, that was, it's over already? Is it really? It's done? Man, that's bull crap. Fine. Short McDonald's. Let's see. 15% discount for value meal. Lower income traffic fell double digits. No way, dude. Oh. Reamed? Transcript. All right, let's go look at that transcript. Let's see what they got for us. So this is going to be, what quarter is this anyway? Oh, Q3. All right. Let's see what they got. McDonald's Q3 earnings call, MCD. All right. Wonder how the stock's doing. All right. MCD 306. Yeah, but that's been flat for like 6 months. All right. So let's pop open that earnings call. Pop open the earnings call. Double digits. There it is. We continue to see bifurcated consumer with quick service restaurant traffic from lower income consumers declining nearly double digits, a trend that's persisted for 2 years. Higher income consumers rose, increasing nearly double digits. Wow. We continue to remain cautious on the health of the consumer. The consumer's effed, man. Nationally advertised $5 Egg McMuffin with egg meal. $8 Big Mac deal. Why does that not sound like a good deal? $8 for a 10-piece McNuggets meal? Bull crap, bro. Come on, man. That should be $4. Okay? It should be $1 for 4 pieces, $1 for 4 pieces, $1 for fries, and $1 for the drink. Okay? That's old school dollar menu. Okay? So they've doubled the price. Bastards. Gaining share of low income. Yeah, good luck with that. Early stages of the program. Several exciting Happy Meal campaigns that drove significant traffic and social engagement. Bring bobbleheads back. You say the consumer is effed. How are you not bearish on the economy? Because we got AI CapEx, bro. It's too K-shaped recovery, bro. Rich get richer. That's capitalism. Let's see what else we have here. You know what we need? Here. Okay, let me explain it. Second pair. All right. Let me give you a better answer. All right. ShamWow guy. Again. Folks, ever wonder why the... Can't even say it right. Hey, ever wonder why the rich just keep getting richer? It's not magic. It's ownership, baby. The rich don't trade hours for dollars. They trade dollars for assets that work 24/7. Stocks, dividends. Real estate appreciates while the tenant covers the mortgage. Every paycheck the poor spend, the middle class save, but the rich buy cash flow assets. Capitalism rewards owners, not workers. So if you're not in the game, you're the product. You don't need to be rich to start, but you gotta start to get rich. Own something, and suddenly compounding is your co-star. That was pretty good. I like that one. That was a good one. All right. Okay, what else? So, let's see here. All right. Oh yeah, let's go back and finish that earnings call off.
finish it off.
Consumer taste. Despite the challenging consumer environment, comp sales increased, probably because of price. Global comp sales of consumer awareness, driving behavior, providing customers with predictability, pressured inflationary environment, today's consumer, pressure on margins in the short term, value. Certainly feel cautious about the consumer. Conditions remain challenging in the U.S. Yeah. Let's see. Good morning, Sarah. Oh, hi. I think high income consumer not changing in trend. Low income is down in terms of visits. Yeah. Low-end consumer continues to be down. Pressures they face. Rents are pretty high. Food prices are high. Significant inflation for the consumer to absorb. Right. Yeah. No, wild. All right, cool. Mickey D's. Oh, let's go. 625. Bro, we're almost at 627.
Something to pay attention to, but this is a defensive sector. You'd expect to see this going up as the markets are correcting and on the brink of a bear market. So I think it's indicative of multiple trends, and it's just like trying to put a finger on what's going on with the consumer. We've been doing that for 12, 24 months. There's no clear signal, but it's definitely a concern because if the consumer rolls over and stops spending, then that's going to be a bad harbinger for the economy.
I think the key is in the name, the value meal, and that it's not a value anymore, and people don't see fast food as a value. They're sticker shocked actually by it, and so they're still eating something. They have to eat. They're just figuring out, other alternatives for themselves.
There's always the a la carte option of a snack wrap.
That's not even that good. You talked about these new refresher drinks, and one, it seems like they're trying to be like Starbucks, and two, here's actually a simple fix that would attract more customers. Instead of putting out all these refreshers, switch to beef tallow to do your French fries in, right? That's extremely popular among my generation, especially on social media. So that's one way to bring back that younger generation who's trying to be more health conscious while giving them your product and making them feel like they're not killing themselves.
They haven't tried to update their logo or anything and ruin it.
Dig my McDonald's coffee cup out of the garbage, but I have at least one black coffee from McDonald's every single day. Buy it through the app because you get a great deal. I have gone back on my Starbucks. I rarely ever go to Starbucks anymore, and I get the McDonald's.
Do you get a good deal on the McDonald's app every single day? Let me see.
That's what they're trying to do over, presenting craft drinks like they're something that they're not.
It's not a raging bull market when private credit and private equity firms are in the toilet.
I agree. That's why
the Blue Owl is down 14% in the last 6 months. I could go on, but I'm just saying that what we're seeing the consumer companies and restaurant chains saying is showing up in stocks.
Listen, there's cracks. The private credit, you've been early on that, and I think you've been dead right. The fact that they want to get access to 401k money to bail them out is really the bridge. So I think it's a terrible idea. It's a sign of weakness to come.
Yeah.
But not yet.
I might have been out for a long time, but to me,
valid one time a day, 99 cents, any premium roast or iced coffee. Wow, she's right. 99 cents. Yeah, but if you order it, it's going to be like $10. I mean, so presumably she just walks in and gets her 99-cent order. Are you sure you want to use this deal? Yeah, she's right. See, but that's smart. That's actually smart for them. Large iced coffee, medium iced coffee, whatever. You can pick any size coffee. Wow. Large ice. Customize. Liquid sugar. I don't want that. Take that out. Cream. I don't want that. I want it black, baby. Sugar. Ew. Don't put sugar in my coffee. 0. All right. There you go. Save. I want this black, baby. Yeah. Usually $3.39. Now only 99 cents. Dude, if you go to Starbucks and you get a nitro, it's like $5.50 now. $5.50 for a nitro. And You can now for 99 cents get a large iced. That's great. Damn. She's right. Gotta give her credit. That's pretty impressive. And then, of course, you're motivated to go buy a product. Huh, if you're already in there, right? That's impressive. And then, of course, you could go for coffee itself. So somebody says, if they started building a McCafe branded shops, it's over for Starbucks. Yeah, you have to use the app and you get 99-cent any size coffee. Dude. Damn. Honestly, like, I'll just not go to Starbucks or, anymore. Just pop into a Mickey D's instead of a Starbucks for 99 cents. That was great. All right, what else? Dude, yes. The Alpha Report wins. Dude, that was a smashing call. We were at 618 on the Qs. Oh, all right, boys and girls. I know this sounds crazy, but 627 is the goal today. We're $2 away, man. We are. How close does that put us? That was $9 to do. We're $7 there. We're 77% of the way there. Let's freaking go. Tesla still have 2. Got the vote today. Cool, man. All right, we'll do MicroStrategy a different time. I'm bored.